Righto, welcome back to another episode. So in this one, we got something I'm pretty excited about, and probably in my opinion, the best shed addition you can do to your backyard shed. Put in the comments what you reckon it might be if I haven't given away in the thumbnail, but in this one, we're putting in a hoist, or a ramp, or whatever you call it in those other countries. Righto, so what are we getting? We're getting a 2-poster from Tough Lift. Not sponsored, just from the research that I've done and what I could afford. That's the best that I thought value for money that I could get. So 2 posts, clear floor, or I might put a thing in the description or it'll pop up in the video on what one I actually picked. But from memory, it's about 3.6 max height. I optioned a couple of little extra bits, like just safety measure really, just the extra bars that come on the base plate for some extra support for loading. But yeah, so let's have a look at what I've done so far, just to sort of get my head around where it's actually going. But it's coming today, so keen. So I rigged up a little jig, I suppose you'd call it, just so I could work out where the base plates are going and what sort of room I had available, where I ended up putting it. So this is kind of what I've done. Bit of cardboard, ran a bit of off-cart and a couple of strips of timber to get the offset between the posts. And I pretty much just moved this around wherever I thought it would be good. And yeah, drove the car in and out a couple of times just to make sure it sort of worked, because I'm kind of coming in on a bit of an angle to come in here. So this is where I've ended up, where these lines are. So I've got kind of offset one on this side of center and the other one on the other side of center, and that gives me enough room to drive in, either reverse in or drive forward, and gives me enough room to swing in, and yeah, so it should be good. So in a few hours we should have a 2-poster right here. I spoke to the installer, he's coming out shortly, so we might have a little bit of issues bringing it in, because I don't have full height access the whole way back here, but he didn't seem too worried. He's got a few options there. The other thing is I don't have power obviously in here, so I've just got a 15 amp lead from the back of the house, so that should be able to power it up enough for us to go through the motions on the hoist. And yeah, so if they let me film, I might do a time lapse of them installing it, or else we'll pop back here when it's all up and I'll let you know how it went. You beauty, she's up. Alrighty, so I didn't film him do anything. It was hot as shit. I felt weird even asking him. So pretty straightforward, I thought, apart from obviously all the cables and stuff. So probably best leave that to the professionals. Bolted all in, beautiful. They were happy with everything. I said solid as a rock, so all good on that front. Yeah, here she is. So pretty happy with it. Like a dog with 2 dicks at the moment, but anyway, I might give you a bit of a run around on how she works and everything, and probably work as a bit of a cheat sheet for me moving forward as well. So let's get into it. Alright, so firstly I'm just running off a lead at the moment because I've obviously got no power set up in here. And what they've done is you've got a couple of options of where this lead comes from. So either come from the bottom or the top. So I told them that I'm eventually going to run power from the top, so they've moved it all up into the top part, so that'll run all the way up to the top of the lift there, and I'll have a chain thing or whatever in the roof, so that'll eventually be out of the way. So first things first, how to sort of use it, I guess. So this is just the isolator for the buttons. Everything else still works, but it's just for the up and down isolation there. So once that's turned across, you've got power here. So obviously up That's your first lock off, and then you shouldn't be like, obviously, I don't know, for people who haven't used the hoist before, I suppose you can't really use the hoist unless you've dropped it down onto those locking mechanisms. So right now it's actually under the hydraulic system still, so you have to go down until it stops and it locks out on one of those lock off notches, and then that's good to work on. So that's how sort of that works there. And then to get it off the lock, you have to go up a bit, and then this works as a release for the lock and to lower it down. So at the very top there, not sure if you'll see it, but there's a light. If that light doesn't turn on, it means you're not sort of holding it down enough. So you'll see that it's lit up now, and then the lift will drop. So obviously there's no weight on it at the moment, so it takes a little bit to come down. In saying that, he has set it up sort of as a kind of all-round sort of hydraulic pressure release. So if for whatever reason wanted it to go down quicker because the cars I'm lifting are quite light, that middle lug, the middle bolt up there, you actually undo it, and there's an Allen key inside it, and you tighten it in if you want to make it slower to go down. So if you had like something massive on there that's like nearing the limit of the lift, you don't want it coming down as hard. So you would just tighten that in, and vice versa. If it's something real light, you just back it off and then you tighten that big nut at the top. So that's sort of, I don't know, bit of a rundown on that system. So obviously at the moment it's running slow because there's nothing on it. So, but it's still not too bad, I suppose, for nothing on it. Once it comes down, I'll give you a rundown on the actual arms. All right, so once it's all the way down, you can actually move those arms freely. So when it drops all the way down, these pins actually come up, and then that allows you to just move these wherever you need. These come out, and these come out as well, and they also adjustable height as well. So that's how that sort of works there. He did say make sure you don't run these at full height or on either end, so don't have them wound all the way out and all the way in, because they can get like bound up in there. So goes run it all the way out and then turn it in one screw, and then just make sure, gives you a bit of extra threads that are in contact with each other. And then that's just got like a notch there to slide in to the notch spot on the actual arm. So at the moment this is set up for driving in, so the smaller arm is at the front, so that's the side that predominantly you have the engine on. So if I found that I didn't really want it that way, I'd rather reverse in or something, these are easy enough to pull out. These big pins have just a circlip underneath that pops off, this slides out, and then you can swap them all around. So that's pretty easy there. At the top up there, there's also the safety bar. So if you're lifting something high or something, maybe even the patrol might even hit it. So if you're getting up to that height and it touches it, it'll just automatically lock off the hoist, so it won't go up any further than that. So all safe on that front. So in terms of like where I had it roughly marked out with my little cardboard cutout thing, it would have worked if I didn't have this saw cut right in the middle. So if you want to do it right, he was saying you need, the bolts can't be any closer than 100 mil from this saw cut for the actual two post plates. So I ended up having to just sort of shift it out just a little bit, just to make sure that I had minimum 100 mil clear from this saw cut. So I suppose hindsight, or looking forward, if I ever did it again or whatever, I'd probably not put a saw cut right in the middle where I was going to put the hoist. So I'd probably do two either side or something maybe next time. So that's just sort of, I don't know, something to learn from, I guess. But other than that, everything else sort of worked out exactly as I wanted it. So pretty happy there. Height was all good, and I've got enough room either side to work on the car when it is in this spot. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So the other thing I should mention about the base plates is I actually optioned the additional, I don't even know what they call this, the support beam, I guess. So this doesn't actually come with the hoist as standard. I actually optioned it. I think it was around 500-ish bucks to add the support plates. Didn't really need it because I obviously had the slab thickening in this area, but it's more just a peace of mind thing. Like, you got all that weight floating over your head for the sake of 500 bucks and a couple of extra bolts. Yeah. So I just added that just for my own peace of mind. So if you're wondering what that is, that's what that is there. So, or else normally it's just got the base plate, which finishes like here, and this is an additional piece. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that. So that's it. Yeah, obviously I'm happy as having a hoist in the shed is just next level. Like, never actually thought I'd even have something like this in my own shed. So yeah, pretty happy. And now that I've got this sitting here, I can finally sort of start looking at where everything else is going to go in the shed. So I wanted this in first and then work around it from there. So let's do it. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you got something out of that. Bit of info on, I suppose, putting in a hoist, and keen for the next episode. Get stuck into a few other bits and pieces here. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a like, comment, whatever. Let me know what you think. But until the next one, keep having a crack. Cheers.